Okay. What's our name? What's the name?
It's a giant bada.
It's a Sonic podcast. Okay. And what's it called? It's about Sonic the Hedgehog, according to my son, but it's called? What's it called? And he's forgotten the name, of course, that we rehearsed all day. Sunday Night Sun is the name. There, he said it right there. Blood Doctor 2.0, of course, gets shy and refuses to say the name of the show that he knows. But hey, what are you going to do? It is what it is. That's my boy. What's up, Keith? You're on both cameras at the same time. We've broken the illusion.
It's the Matrix, baby.
Not that there's an illusion. Tom Cruise is in both photos. It's all good. Whatever. I like the 2-camera thing. It works for me. And later in this episode, when the camera shorts out, we'll go to a 1-camera thing. Because, right? You know?
I like multi-cam sitcoms. I like single-cam sitcoms. You know.
I like our technical ability to adjust mid-episode. And, of course, by technical ability, I mean you scoot your chair over. So it's like a weird time. It's a good time overall for Arizona basketball, like the state of Arizona. It's also very funny that our cameras are very different color. I can't change the hue on this one. It looks insane, like we're in different places. The University of Arizona in the Final Four. Ooh,
yes.
Literally
That was a great game.
Plenty of screaming and cheering. Arizona down halftime to Purdue and really completely from start to finish dominated the second half.
Yeah.
And a pretty, Cole Pete had a great game. Burries had another really nice game. Bradley hit some shots. Krivas did some things like Karchenkov was playing well. Like Awaka hit a couple of nice shots. Like the ball was pinging around pretty well. Everyone was hitting shots in the second half, despite the first half being just a brick fest. And so, the Suns are sort of we're in the final stretch and there's all this stuff. But right now, the most important thing to me is the Final Four. And so Arizona being there for the first time in 25 years, is amazing.
It is amazing. They deserve to be there. It's good. This next game against Michigan is going to be it's going to be a doozy,
Yeah.
What are you looking at that game?
I mean, I think it's going to be the best game of the year. I think it's the real national championship is, as amazing as UConn's comeback win against Duke was.
Yeah.
If Duke plays any level of halfway decent basketball down the stretch, they win that game.
Yeah.
And UConn just benefited from, I don't know what the hell Duke was doing there. They quit. We listen to the, post game of teams that lose games like that sometimes just because we want to hear what the fans say. And I tried to find the one and I found it and their website was broken. And I was like, yeah, I would break my website for this event too. And so I went on Duke Blue Devils subreddit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And that was just, it's number one. They have lots of national championships and lots of Final Fours. So for them to feel any kind of way about anything is dumb, but they're just like pain. Nobody knows how bad this is. Like we lost this way 2 years in a row. It's so horrible, but and I've been there with Arizona. I get it. But all of that to say, the question you actually asked me, the thing about Arizona and Michigan is that they're both huge. And so both teams have really been using the size advantage against a lot of other people. Like it's not that Arizona's team has the tallest player. They don't. But it's just that 1 through 8, they're just bigger than most teams. They're longer. They're, a little bit more athletic. And Michigan honestly has the same thing. Michigan is the same thing as Arizona in this case. And the big difference really is that the way that Arizona wants to play versus the way that Michigan wants to play, I think that the way that I would describe it is that, and again, I'm not a college basketball expert. I watch these two teams. I do watch a lot, but we watch every single Suns game. We break those down at a much higher level. So as much as I love U of A, I missed a few games to see. I watched a lot of them, but I didn't see every single second of every game. But what I have gleaned from what I have watched is that Michigan is going to be a little bit more egalitarian in the way that they play and a little bit less sort of heliocentric because while Lendeborg is going to really sort of be the focal point of what they're doing, it's going to be in a way where he's coming off screens. He's, getting the extra pass and hitting the trailer triple. Or he's getting the ball in transition and then getting to the rack. It's not so much where, we're going to give the ball to Lendeborg and let him create and go from there. Michigan's playing a lot more, sort of, read and react, almost a Princeton offense. And Arizona's running a lot more, classic kind of pick and roll. And a lot of the initiation is going to start with, when he's on the court, obviously, Jaden Bradley. And so, and not that Arizona doesn't play read and react, game, give and go, DHOs, all those things too. Of course they do. And not that Michigan doesn't play pick and roll, but what strikes me is that Lendeborg will often get the shot in. It's more like watching Klay Thompson, where, again, he's off screens, he's off pin downs, he's not massaging the ball, dribbling, going to work. Not that he never does that, but so many of his shots are wide open in the flow of the Michigan offense because they're playing well. And he'll still score 23, 24 points because he's a 23-year-old man playing against boys. Lendeborg should be dominating this tournament, and he is. But he doesn't have to have the ball all the time to do it. And so what I find interesting is that in a lot of ways, Michigan is set up well to attack anyone because no one has to have the ball. However, what can come from that and what Arizona can exploit in that is that Michigan does not have the guys who, in my opinion, can break you down off the dribble and do as much as Arizona's backcourt can. I think that Bradley and Burries are better at that. And so I do think that there's going to be a certain level of just working to constantly disrupt the passing lanes for Michigan and making them play ISO ball. Mm-hmm. And the more that you can force them into ISO ball, the more success you're going to have. And the thing is that a lot of college basketball teams around tournament time, their best player takes a lot of isolations, and these things happen a lot. And Michigan has really been able to avoid that. And so I think that it is paramount for Arizona to obviously rim protection, A1, but second thing is passing lanes. As much as you want to be walling off the paint and as much as you want to be, making sure that you're closing out and not allowing open three-pointers, I really, really, truly believe that there are turnovers to be had against Michigan, and there is havoc to be wreaked that will destroy the flow of their offense and create advantages for Arizona. And so I think that this is a game where, Koa Pete and Bradley, it's not just offense, it's defense too. Everyone needs to flex their skills. Everyone needs to be knocking as many passes as they can. And, yes, the rotations need to be tight. You need to get to those corner three-point shooters because they're constantly generating open looks. Lendeborg's hitting from all over the place. It's going to be interesting to see who actually gets the defensive assignment on him. But the biggest thing for me, just when considering the theoretical pairing of these two teams, is that I have more faith in Arizona to score when things break down than I do in Michigan. Because Michigan, truthfully, hasn't even been challenged yet in this tournament for the most part. Like, they've been blowing everyone out of the water. And I know that obviously, that's really good. It looks great, obviously. But what happens when it's not working? Michigan has not had they've only had a couple of losses this year. And when they did lose, there was a lot of disruption to what they wanted to do offensively. And so I don't think that this is as much about, we got to outscore them, we got to do this, as much as it is about you have to take away all of their easy looks generated by extra passes. And that, again, is passing lanes and defensive rotation. Mm-hmm. And I think that our natural paint defense is already good enough. And so it's going to really be about a pristine closeout game and again, just attacking the passing lanes because they are going to whip the ball around so much that if you are able to get in those lanes, generate a few turnovers, get some easy looks the other way, they will get frazzled, which will in turn create more transition for Arizona. And if we beat Michigan in the transition game, like it's going to start to get really difficult for them because, again, as good as they are, like, and they can bury so many triples. So, like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, again, this one's hard for me because, again, my two schools, Arizona and Michigan, I love them both. I love Michigan a little more for football. I love Arizona a little more for basketball. It's just the way that my life happened. I grew up. Sports are weird. I don't know what to tell you. But I just think that there's so many great players on both sides. But I just believe, again, watching this entire tournament, I think that the opportunity for Arizona lies in forcing Michigan to play as much isolation as possible by disrupting those passing lanes, making sure you've got those closeouts, and just creating as much transition offense as possible. Because if Arizona are the ones always in transition and they are not allowing Michigan to get their defense set and thus creating – because so much of this tournament, you watch Michigan fly up the court, and like extra pass, and it's a wide open three because there's only three dudes. And it's just like, we can't allow that. And they've been doing it to everyone. And so there has to be a dedicated, supreme focus on offense, taking care of the ball to prevent anything in transition, and then doing the opposite on the other side. Like, this is a game where the turnover game literally might decide, you know, who actually wins. And as much as it is 3-point shooting and free throws in every game these days, this is a game where I'm going to say right now that I bet you the team that turns the ball over less wins this game. Like I would go with, if you ask me the one statistic I think that matters more in this game than any other, I would say turnovers, because I honest to God believe the team that is able to actually control the ball and not have lazy fucking passes is going to be in control of this game, because you have two teams operating at the highest level. Again, these are the two best teams in college basketball. Duke never was. And so you have the two teams operating at the highest level that have elite offenses and elite defenses. And the question becomes, who can execute better? And I just honestly believe that I think the 3-point percentages will end up close. I bet all those things will end up close, but I'm just going to bet you, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong. But I just bet you that the team that turns the ball over less wins this game. And I bet you there will be like a 5-point or a 5 turnover discrepancy, and that team will win by 5 or 6 points. And I'm going to say right there, that's why I think they won. I'm really going to point to that because I really believe it. So
I'll be looking for that. I know U of A had some turnovers in the first half of the last game, but they kind of really tightened that up in the second half. So that was,
yes,
they have the ability to control the ball. Obviously,
there was a lot of horrendous passing in that first half, and that's what worries me. Like, the thing is, if you do that shit to Michigan, you're not going to be behind by 7 points. You're going to be behind by 20.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing, is that Michigan generates so many turnovers, and then they just generate so many wide open looks. Not that they're not good in the half court. They are. But I'm just saying every college basketball team is going to be less efficient in the half court because basketball is less efficient in the half court. It is what it is. And I think that the more that you can turn them into, hey, you got to beat us 1-off-1 and shoot contested jumpers, like, number one, we're just going to be better at that. And that's not a game I want to play, but I just believe we're better suited to that sort of game. And I just think that the strongest advantage that anyone can get in this game will be just the turnover battle. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Am I right? Am I wrong? Who knows?
It is interesting. I haven't watched Michigan much this year. How is their defense? I know they can score, but
their defense is awesome. Yeah. I mean, they're huge. They're long. Mm-hmm. They're going to attack the passing lanes too. And like I said, they're incredibly good at generating offense out of transition, and not just dunks and layups in 2-on-1 situations, but they're incredibly adept at very quickly getting to the other end, getting their set in place, and then getting to the open shot. And you will see them very often take a shot early. Like, they're not sitting there massaging the ball, milking it down to 10 seconds before they get into an action, because if they get an open look, they're taking it. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of scenarios where, like, Lendenborg will free roam on defense. He'll hit a passing lane, steal a ball, or deflect to someone else. They'll get it to a guard, and Lendenborg will sort of just trail, and he just catches the third pass, and the defense is scrambling, trying to see what's going on. He's already watching the offense develop as they go. It is very precise. Like everything they do is about precision.
Mhm.
And so that's where the opportunity is they're a well-oiled machine. So pour some fucking sugar in the tank, And that's something, if the game is havoc and the game is breakdowns and the game is who's going to get more offensive rebounds and who's going to score more in, certain situations, I just trust us more. I still think that, there's a Del Orso game to be had where he hits 8 threes and all these things. So there's a lot to be said about, what can be done. I think it's just going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be a great game. I think this should be an all-time game. I mean, obviously, sometimes, one team shows up and the other team doesn't. We see it all the time, but this should be an all-time game.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be very interesting to see. I don't know if anything's going to beat that UConn Duke game in terms of pure excitement in this tournament. I mean, from a Arizona fan perspective, any Arizona win means more, of course. But I'm just saying, from a complete shock and that's March kind of thing, I really doubt we're going to get anything more shocking than what the UConn game was. But what the hell? You never know. I mean, you just never know. So, but Michigan and Arizona were number 1 and number 2 for most of the season. So it is very fitting for them to battle. It would be cooler if it was the national championship. But still, a Final Four matchup is fitting. I'm glad that this was not like a Sweet 16 matchup or something.
Yeah.
And that was obviously not going to happen because they were both number 1 seeds. But I just mean it's good that they both kept their number 1 status and were able to get, seeds that allowed them to meet in the Final Four and not earlier than that because that would have sucked. It would have been cool if they had been seeded in a way to meet in the national championship. But again, I don't know. You get the prime spot on a Saturday. Sometimes that's better than a Monday night. Who knows?
I agree. That's what happened a couple years ago. I think the WNBA, not the WNBA, but the women's one beat the men's championship in the ratings. I think it was to do with the Monday. Yeah.
Well, because they had the NFL time slot. They had like the noon Sunday, and just turned out the entire world was very ready to watch basketball that day. And the rating success has not quite translated to the WNBA in the way that some people predicted. But yeah, I mean, women's college basketball, they've killed it in the ratings. And now, I mean, they miss Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and all these things, of course.
Yeah.
And that's how it's always going to go. There'll be a new wave of stars.
Yeah.
But, and there's incredible talent there now. Juju Watkins, as you put, all these things. Anyway, I truly think this would be one of the best games we've seen in a long time. So I'm very excited to I assume my mother will be rooting for Michigan. So that's going to be, kind of funny to be trash talking my mom.
It'll be fun, though. It'll be fun.
No, it's going to be evil trash talk. No, no, yeah, and it'll be good. And I mean, again, like for Arizona to be where they are right now, after, all the stuff that happened in the post-Lute Olson area where we couldn't really find a coach. And then, the Sean Miller era happens and it's
the scandals,
and it's still unclear, like exactly, what, he didn't do much wrong because he's coaching at Texas now.
Right.
So it's, and with the advent of NIL, it's like, who even cares? But it still made the university look bad. Mm-hmm. And,
no one talks about it anymore, though.
No, it's completely been forgotten. And, in time, at the time I was furious, but eventually it, gets completely forgotten. No one cares. But at the time it was, it hurt the school and it set you back and it hurt your recruiting. And, it wasn't until Tommy Lloyd got here that, things have really started to change. Like he has put us back where Lute Olson had us, where in the prime years of Lute Olson, from, the mid 90s up through, like 2005 ish era. I don't remember exactly when Lute retired, but the point is, it was our most successful run was around that time frame.
Yeah.
And the championship was in 97. The second championship game that we lost to Duke was in 2001. That's why I was very happy to see Duke lose, even though it hurt my ability to win my bracket challenge. And then my mother will now win my bracket. My mom will win that bracket challenge pretty much no matter what. So that's funny enough.
It's rigged.
That UConn won that for my mom on that. But as our smoke detector goes off in my house for some reason.
Well,
just for a moment.
The rest of the house is on fire. We're okay here.
We're on fire on the Blunt Doctor show. We are burning up. But we're going to see. It's going to be a lot of fun. Should we do that? We do have some highlights of U of A. Should we do these before we talk Suns?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same thing. I think we should.
All right,
unless we're going to come back around to the U of A.
Let's do some U of A highlights here. I think it's a good idea. And let's get our technical difficulties, folks. I brought it up in the wrong browser to do my telestrating, so we're just gonna have to reopen it. So I'm very sorry, folks, for my horrendous mistake of not knowing how to do my own things. I should, what we need to do?
Suspense right now.
Yeah, we do. We what we need to do. We need to invent an assistant that, like, whenever we make a mistake, we just blame that person. Like, God damn it, Robert, why did you do that?
Why did you do that? Tom, we can blame Tom back here.
I can't blame Tom for anything. That's not fair. Tom's never done anything wrong in his life.
That's true.
Don't quote me. So isn't this the thing? That is the thing. All right. So boom. Let's add it back. Hello. And so we're going to look at some U of A highlights. And so this is from Purdue. This is the last game that we played. And, again, this game started really rough. And, the second half was amazing. Now, this is the dude I've been loving so much, Burries, in this tournament. He's been amazing. I've not been shocked to see him, he's looking really good in NBA draft slots right now because, of how well he's playing. But again, you love this kind of thing because, again, we're talking college basketball right now. So there's not, as much precision and all these things. But you can see it right here. Look at what they've done here. Okay? They literally have formed a wall right here for Burries to run around. Every single Purdue player is inside these four. Is inside Krivas, Koa-Pete, and I think that's Dillor, so I yellow lined over him. But the point is, this is quite literally, and you've got Jaden Bradley here, passing to Burries running around. But they've literally created a scenario where there's nothing Purdue's going to do, and Burries is just going to come around here and get the wide open shot. And this is just a really simple ATO play, after timeout play. But this is created by the fact that these guys know, hey, they're going to, they're going to be inside us, obviously trying to get position. So let's just all huddle together and create a little wall. And again, it's just a smart play by Tommy Lloyd. This is the stuff we never saw with Sean Miller, right? This is the stuff we never saw with Sean Miller. Miller, good recruiter, horrible actual coach of basketball. And, this is just easy stuff. But again, like, you get however many timeouts per game. When you're able to turn like 4 of those into triples, like, that's unbelievable. Like, that's an incredible advantage. And when you hit multiple ATOs in a game, you're quite literally, like, those are some of the most important plays to execute well because you have control of everything that's going on. And really good coaches know that we got to have a really good ATO. And so this is just a great way to start a game. And I love that attention to detail that Tommy Lloyd has that Sean Miller never had. And I remember a conversation that my late nephew Andrew and I had. And by the way, as I said on the Blunt Doctor show last week, the reason this is so much is obviously Andrew. And we had a conversation. I can remember one time watching. It was the DeAndre Ayton year, and Dusan Ristic couldn't defend a fucking paper bag, and he's just letting in layup after layup after layup. And I'm like yelling at my nephew. I'm like, "Do you see what's happening?" And like, I was like drunk, and this is where he gets his horrible example from his uncle. But anyway,
he was gambling on the game.
Oh God, yeah. My sister was like, "You're the reason he gambled." I was like, "I know." She wasn't being mean; she was joking, but it's also true. But you can also see the other thing I like about this is that Del Orso slips first. So you see right here, Del Orso takes off. He takes his defender with him. We've got the double screen right here. So they're looking at Del Orso to get the ball. And so all the Purdue's defenders are believing he's going to get the shot. And then Burries just comes around and is the one who actually takes the shot. And so, again, it's just, extra little wrinkle. He waits to actually come off his screen, and that's why he's wide open because everyone's already tracking their man. And he waits till, let's see, right about there. Yeah, he waits till right. Don't take off yet. He gets a little shove, runs into Koa Pete, wide open. And so, it's just a smart way to use, you basically had two guys coming off a double pick. And you use the second guy for the shot. And that's the thing. It's like you're already at a double pick. So why not fucking use a double, a double run, a double jet, man.
I love gate plays like that.
I do too. It was a good call, draw it up. And this is where I love Koa Pete and his just sort of general awareness and touch because this play isn't really going so well. He's going to come up here, set the screen. Bradley kind of slips. Looked like there was contact. There may have been a foul, but he gets it to Pete right here. And this is honestly got a really tough shot to make because you've just got like a floater in the lane. It's not easy. Like truly, it's not. And so one thing I love about him so much is how he is just able to immediately turn around and one dribble, put this thing in, and he's set the screen. Sees it's broken down, or excuse me, no dribble, just right back up. That's actually another point here watch the way he catches this ball, okay? He's got it up. He never brings it back down to his waist. If he brings it back down to his waist, that ball's going to get slapped away. But he keeps it high, and he's jumped up. He never dribbles.
EJ would love that.
EJ would fucking go. This is how you play basketball, young man. That's like EJ would love it.
He always talks about keeping the ball high.
Keep the ball high. He says it all the time. And Pete is launched off right after that, and it's a much easier shot for him because he never brings the ball down low. And the other thing, again, the touch, that little 8 foot, that shot is so hard. It seems so simple. But it does not come up that much in the flow of the game. It's not like a corner three, which you shoot 800 times. Like getting the ball on that little twist turn and then having to immediately, it's hard to practice that. And so just having the touch to be able to make those kind of things, and he does, he's going to be a phenomenal NBA player. He's just a secondary scorer.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the NBA. Honestly.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of, when he came in, he scored 35, and that one was kind of, oh, shit. He hasn't been quite as good because he's been injured. I do believe that has a lot to do with, his, lack of production in the second half of the season. I'm not worried about his career at all. I think he's going to be really good. I just think that he needs to be I think I was saying to you before, he needs to just be with a really good point guard. Mm-hmm. He's the kind of dude who's going to thrive when he has a point guard getting him easy looks and getting him the ball in the flow of the offense. Like I think a really good career arc for Koa Pete would be like Aaron Gordon in Denver. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's like a really good, but I think like a miscast way of using him would be Aaron Gordon in Orlando. And so, I think that there is a very real possibility, again, like in Amari Stoudemire. Amari was a freak athlete. I don't know if Koa Pete is quite the athlete that Amari was, but I really do think that Aaron Gordon could be a really good comp for what Koa Pete could be in this league, which is that's a fucking very good player that Denver doesn't win the championship without, so Is he the second best player on the team? No, Jamal Murray was, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, here we're in transition, and it's everybody's favorite boy. I mean, I just love Del Orso. I love everything about him. I just, you love a dude who can hit all the threes in the world, of course, but this is just fun because you can literally just see, this is the kind of shit we got to be doing with Michigan.
Yeah. Yes.
They're in transition, and we're like, yoink, mine, and just right back down. Good defense, by the way, from that dude who didn't even jump. Really nice. All right. Oh, see, again, there's Koa Pete right there. Very nice layup off the alley-oop, sort of alley-oop from Bradley.
Huge play, too, based on where we were at.
Yeah, we needed this one. Like, we were struggling. We hadn't scored for quite a while. And, again, this is simple stuff. This is a pick and roll. This is a really nice pass from Bradley because he's got to loft it over multiple players and get it down here, and he's got to time it so that, Pete can get up and lay it in or dunk it, and in this case, lay it in. But, depending on, as the case may be, whatever he's going to do. And it's just a really nice pass. Bradley, I don't know if he's a traditional point guard per se. I don't know how you view him. He's a good player. He's a basketball player. And he has really been flexing his playmaking and getting my guys involved in this tournament skills. And then he really does a lot to close it out. But, you just love a play like this because, again, this is a nice pass. And it's a hard pass to make. I mean, look at this. He's already up in the air passing it. Koa hasn't even jumped yet. Like, you've got to know exactly how to time this, right? Like, you've got to be up throwing this ball before a Koa goes, right? That's how an alley works. Like, you've got to be, like, that's the thing is when you think about it, you're like, oh, he'll jump and then I'll throw it to him. It's like, no, you got to be ahead of that shit, like, so he's come up around the corner and he's already throwing the ball up. Koa is just now breaking because he knows that he's going to be able to get there and he knows exactly how much room to give it to him, and that shit's easy. Just beautiful backdoor passes. And again, the other thing is when you do this, when you cut this hard, you take the whole defense with you. So you see Purdue, they're all right here. And even Koa Pete's man is looking over here because they think he's rising up to shoot the ball. And that makes it just so much easier to dump the ball off right here because there's nobody. Mm-hmm. And, it's fun to watch. It's a great pass.
Can you imagine if it was goaltending for offense to grab it on the way down, like.
So. I hate, like, basically every goaltending rule.
Yeah.
One thing I agree with Stan Van Gundy says is once the ball touches the rim, it should be live. I hate offensive basket interference. I think that's a stupid fucking rule. If the ball is live, you should be able to slap it off the rim or you should be able to put it in the rim. And I think basketball would be far more entertaining if we had these huge 7-footers who were able to slap the ball off the rim. I honestly if they just got rid of all goaltending rules, I would probably be fine with that. Although the problem I think would be that like Wemby would just stand by the basket and then just like grab every, you know what I mean? That's like kind of the issue. But I just feel like I don't like I don't know. Like I just do again, the Stan Van Gundy one I really agree with. I hate offensive basket interference. I think that is a very stupid penalty. Oh, is it this much off the rim or this much off the rim? Like, come on, man. It's a live ball. Let them swat it off the rim or put it in. I just that's the rule change I would make.
Agreed.
I mean, that's just grown man business. That's again when we're right here, this tied the game. This is just where things were not going well, and this is just Jaden Bradley saying, I'm gonna handle this. And this is nothing more than grown man business going through everyone to get the bucket. I mean, that's just Jaden Bradley being Jaden Bradley. That's all that is. So that's awesome. Beautiful defense. And again, out in transition, the things we need to focus on against Michigan. You love our three-point shooting. They also have great three-point shooting, so that's going to be a thing to keep an eye on. But again, like look at what Purdue. They are committed to walling off this paint. They're like, we are not going to, and he is so wide open on this shot. Like, you would be hard pressed to get more wide open. I mean, and Bradley comes down, sets the pick.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is at the end of this play, right here, you've got your point guard setting a pick to make sure that his shooter is wide the hell open. Just those little things, those little attention to detail.
Putting your body at risk.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you start to, and again, that's how we go from up 3 to up 6. And now the tide is starting to turn and everything's starting to feel, more comfortable as you're watching the game. And this one just, extra pass. Just this is one of those plays where, nobody does anything incredibly athletic or special here. It's just a lot of good passing work, Work the ball around the perimeter, set the screen. All right. So
showcases their chemistry.
Right, exactly. And so we got, Brace is going to come here and set the screen. And it's like, all right. So off of that, Purdue's in good position here, honestly. They've got everything pretty well walled off. They've got this defended pretty well, to be completely honest. We're going to break it down inside. And then right here, this is where it starts to break down because I've drawn 2 defenders. It's good work by Del Orso. And after he draws the 2 defenders, right here you can see this is the scenario where, in college, a lot of dudes just shoot this shot.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, it showcases the chemistry because Koa Pete's right here in the dunker spot. Kriva sees him, and it's an easy assist for him. And
they've been watching Oso.
And it's just a lot of, like you said, good chemistry. That's a really good way to put it. This team plays together in a way that a lot of college teams don't. And that stuff's just easy because it's, wide open dunk. Good pass, boom. Like just 2 heads-up plays in a row. It's just veteran play, baby. And that was the end. I love Jaden Bradley. He's just so,
I forgot I had the highlight of him earlier, so I was like, I gotta have one Jaden Bradley.
He's just so completely unshakable, just as a player, like he's a leader. He's a veteran leader. That's what he's supposed to do. And this tournament has been truly, one of the best tournaments in a long time. And not just because of Arizona winning. Obviously, that means a lot. But there have been so many great games in this tournament. And so for Arizona to make it to the Final Four in this tournament that we're all going to remember, if we win this one of the great all-time tournaments, that, means a lot, because, there's a lot of years where, when you have like Cinderella teams make the Final Four, for example, like way fewer people watch, like, because the large market doesn't tune in when their team loses. And so this game is 2 huge programs with, the Phoenix and Detroit markets tied to it. And, there's all these, it's cool. It's very cool.
I agree. I can't wait for the game.
I understand Phoenix is technically a Sun Devils market, but the large market associated with the University of Arizona is Phoenix. So gonna be a hell of a game. Those are some fun highlights. Let's talk Suns.
Yeah, let's do it.
So at this point, I think, we came on here and we said, that this week and the next few games, and we've had some stuff going on. So, I had family in town. We had some stuff going on. So we've been a little inconsistent with the episodes lately. That I say to say, it's gone on a little longer than we actually talked about it in terms of how many games it would be. And I think that we have pretty much, we're in the 7th seed. That's where it is. That's our best case scenario. We all wanted to get to the 6th seed. That was, again, that was, I think what we agreed on this podcast was the focus for the season.
Yeah.
Find a way into the 6th seed. And they were not able to do that.
We had a week where we went 1 of 4.
Yeah.
1 of 5.
Yeah. And we had 3 stretches of that this season. We started the season 1 and 4. We had that stretch where we went at 1 and 4 after the All-Star break. We've had this one now. Like this is the 3rd or 4th time. And so you just eventually those things really start to add up. Now, again, let's be real. If we had made the play-in this season at 10, I would have been so happy. This was not supposed to be a good season. So doing what we've done and knowing that had we not been injured, who knows what could have happened. We've had a plethora of injuries. I've got two thoughts on the situation. Number one, we must secure the 7 seed. And by that, I don't mean, well, yeah, we must keep the Clippers at bay because they are like 2.5 games back of us. And we basically need to win most of our remaining games to just ensure that they do not, overtake us. We do have a game against, like, we've got some hard games coming up.
Yes.
Our last game of the season is the Thunder. We've got that Rockets game we're going to soon. So
yeah,
there's going to be a lot of tough stuff. So it's not going to be easy for us to do. But we want to do this because we want to be able to, host that 7-8 game. And we want to be able to send the Clippers packing and get the 7 seed, which right now would be against the Spurs, which I know it's Wembanyama. I know that he just beat us on that, whatever. But again, we're badly injured, and they beat us on a last-second shot. In a playoff situation, if we are healthy, I think we have a legitimate chance to beat the Spurs. I'm not trying to guarantee anything. I'm saying that if Dillon Brooks is back, he can be the biggest fucking thorn and the pain in the ass that Wembanyama has ever dealt with, and we have a chance to win that series. I legitimately believe it.
Me too.
So the question is, how do we maintain the 7 seed? And how do we ensure we beat the Clippers? Those are all the things that need to be focused on because, it doesn't matter. What's done is done. If you get the 7 seed, you still had a better season than you anticipated. You're going up against a team that you've had success against. They're young. So now it's just about beating them. And listen, if you beat this team, sky's the limit. If you could beat that team, who the fuck says you can't beat anyone else? So I'm not letting doom and gloom take over how I feel yet. Here's how I'm choosing to believe, how I'm choosing to view this. The Spurs are actually potentially our best first round matchup that we could have had. I actually think that we match up better against them than we do against the Thunder, the Nuggets, or the Rockets. And the two teams that I would want the most would be the Lakers and the Spurs. I legitimately mean that. I legitimately believe we match up better against those two teams than anyone else. And I think that this is going in such a way that we're going to get one of those two teams. And I'm happy about that because I believe that we have a chance in those series. I'm choosing to believe that it's all about playoff seeding. And that's why everything has gone. The universe has put us where we're supposed to be. That's how I'm choosing to feel.
I'm with it. Any timetable on Mark right now? Do we know if he'll be back?
He's playing basketball, but he's not playing contact yet, and they just need him to play contact. So it's like he's coming back soon. And Brooks is like working out, and I think he'll be back soon too.
When you say soon, do you mean like they'll be back for the play-in, or?
I mean, it's hard to say. Yeah. It's hard to say because everything I read is like they're progressing. They're almost back. Like,
yeah,
I think that they'll probably both be back with maybe a couple games left in the season. Okay. And they'll try to play, would be my guess. But again, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. Like, everything I read is like they're getting closer, but they're not quite there yet. And obviously, they're being very careful because, as we've seen, Dillon Brooks is so key to what we do. Mark Williams, too, but Dillon Brooks is like, our second best player by a pretty wide margin. Yeah. And so
my thing with Mark, we do. My thing with Mark Williams being out is that it puts Oso in the starting lineup, and he's not able to kind of do his offense against the bench, which he really excels at against.
Yeah,
and he's been doing a good job.
Oso's a good player, but Mark Williams is just always going to be a better rim protector because he's a bigger and longer player. That's just there's nothing that's ever going to not be true about that. And you're right. When we don't have Oso attacking second units, that hurts our bench.
Mm-hmm. So I am looking forward to that. Obviously everyone wants them back as soon as possible, but I think it's huge for us. I think when we get those two back, if we're going against the Clippers, whatever, and play-in, I would love to have them. Because that scares me. That's a scary game to me.
It is.
Yeah.
The other thing is that if we are matched up with the Spurs, Mark Williams is a dude who is big enough and long enough to keep Wemby out of the paint and turn Wemby into a jump shooter. And look, I understand Wembanyama is like a force of nature or whatever, and there's not much that you can do. But the point is, it's better if he's shooting jumpers than if he's dunking the ball. And I think that the one thing about Mark Williams is that he is big enough that he's one of the few dudes who does not look tiny next to Wembanyama. He's still 3 inches shorter or 4 inches shorter, which is crazy. But he also has, an insanely long reach. And he is someone that Wembanyama cannot just completely go over or go through. And I do think that having that dude who for 35 minutes a game can make Wembanyama be like, you know what, I'm just going to shoot a jumper. Because Williams, look, Wemby is tough and all these things, but, Williams is a fucking tank. And, Wemby's not going through him. So, there's a lot of opportunity in just having Wembanyama wanting to play at the 3-point line instead of in the paint. And a lot of that opportunity comes from Mark Williams being there. Now, again, like you said, the Clippers game is a frightening game. Kawhi's playing out of his mind right now. I believe we would win against either the Blazers or the Warriors behind them. But then we would have the 8th seed and we'd play the Thunder. And it's like, joy. What a compliment, we don't want that. So, I just think that we have a legitimate chance against the Spurs because, the way that we have defended Wembanyama this year, we've had a lot more success than him against. In that first game where we beat him, everyone started doing what we did for the next few weeks, and he really had bad stats for a while.
He did. Are we 3-1 against him this year, or 2-2?
I believe.
I think we're.
I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, I want to say we're 2-2, but I almost think we could be 3-1. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. And the good thing is that Malawach is getting some minutes lately, and I think they would be willing to play him against the Spurs in the playoffs, even if Williams is healthy. I could see a few minutes where they bring in man to kind of just for the size. Let's see here. Okay, we're 2-2.
You pretty much have to at least consider it. Again, we're not supposed to win that series. Yeah. You're not favored. You should throw every single thing at the wall and see what fucking happens. They should, but he's huge. He's long. Let's play him and Williams together and just fucking see what happens.
That'd be interesting.
I don't give that would be hilarious if teams were just like, all right, we're gonna counter Wembanyama with 3 centers, and they're like, we know we're not gonna have an offense, but you're not either. We're gonna play Brick Festival all game while Wembanyama's out there, and let's just see what happens. That would be you could do that if you were the Knicks, because then you would just let Jalen Brunson take every shot, and it might work.
So we put out Oso, Williams, and Man, and who are the other two?
Tom Thibodeau is somewhere watching this, being like, that guy's a genius. I'm gonna do it. He's calling Taj Gibson right now. We're going back to the league, Taj. Don't shoot at the wall. See what fucking happens. Yeah, Williams. Let's play a lineup of Booker, Dunn, Iguodala, Malawach, and Williams. And just be fuck it. We're so long. There will be no shooting. Yeah. There will be no layups.
It'll just be also in the dunker spot.
It'll just be also in the dunker spot while Devin Booker's being quadruple teamed. Just trying to, but then on the other end, nothing would happen. You wouldn't, the Williams and Malawach are both so long. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to go anywhere. It would be pretty goddamn funny. It would be on 2K, it would be funny. In real life, it would be very frustrating. But no, and some dudes are just so fast that they'd be able to break them down or whatever. But in college, teams literally do that. That's what Sean, whatever his name was, did with DeAndre Ayton and Dusan Ristic, was just played Ayton in power forward because Ayton didn't want to play center. And he's like, yeah, we'll just play them together. And it's hey, this isn't working and we're losing games because of it. And he didn't know shit.
We should have paid attention.
I fucking hate that guy. Just a ton of absolutely brutal last-second losses.
I know, man. It shows that we're right there, though.
Yeah.
Even with half our team gone,
So, here's my thing. If I was Brian Gregory right now, I'm like ready to pull the plug on the Jalen Green thing as a long-term idea. He has been so bad at the end of every game. He is a very useful spark plug player during games, but he has been so bad closing games. And the thing is that I know we talked about injury and all these things, but I went and I looked at his statistics from his time with the Suns, his time with the Rockets and everything. And like basically nothing has changed. The only difference is he's taking more shots now. Like he's shooting a higher volume and all these things. He's getting a lot more shots now than he did with the Rockets, funny enough. And again, like the biggest thing is, number one, the offensive rating when he's on the court is 103 and the defensive rating is 118. So we're getting outscored by 15 points per possession or per every 100 possessions when he's on the court. Like I want to. We sat here and broke down a bunch of his highlights. I see what everyone else sees. I want to believe what everyone else believes. I understand for so many reasons, but like some dudes do not contribute to winning basketball, and I do think there's possibility that he can be a very, very, like, I think he would be an awesome sixth man. I just think that's where I'm starting to believe that this is headed, is that Jalen Green's career is that he is going to be Jamal Crawford or Jason Terry or any other, Lou Williams, any of these other dudes who just comes off the bench and absolutely roasts you for 25 minutes, but does not do much else. And again, certain things have been better. Turnovers are worse. Like it's like one of those things. It's like his assists are up, but his turnovers are up. His shooting percentages are basically what they've always been for his career.
His 3-point percentages is like what, 32 right now?
Yeah, I mean the 3-point percentage, the shooting percentages, those I care less about. Because everyone's going to miss shots. But if you still rotate hard on defense and are in position, you're going to equal out what you're providing offensively. So, like, the fact that he's shooting 1 or 2 percentage points below where I would want him to be, because it's not like he's shooting 20% from three. And you're like, oh my God, what's going on with this guy? Like, he's still in the 30s. Like, you can reasonably say, okay, that's probably going to tick up a little bit more. I can understand that. Like, he's not being, like, atrocious. He really hasn't been. I just don't, I don't know at what point. What sucks about this is, we don't have the luxury of, if Devin Booker was 25, you have so much time to figure this out. But we don't. You only have so much more time where Devin Booker is an all-NBA player. And now, listen, a great playoffs erases all of this, right?
Right.
If Jalen Green helped us win a playoff series or, say, 2, that would change things. But that's kind of where we're at this point, that he has to be, awesome in the playoffs to really think that this could be. Because he has all the talent in the world, but there are just too many things that it's the missed rotations, it's the missed passes, it's the driving into 4 people.
There's about that. I feel like we could better scheme for him when he's on the floor, to try to get him open lanes to the basket so he's not having to go with 4 people. So I feel like we're not playing toward his strength with his, in my opinion, driving at the basket, not shooting up jumpers. But
I agree with that. I agree with you that he is his primary skills should be slashing to the basket, not shooting threes. I agree with you. And I think that if he played the game a little more that way, it could be different. But I also think that it's the stuff we talked about, for example, the one game we talked about where when he missed the 1-3 at the end, and it's there's a lot of massaging the ball, trying to figure it out or whatever. And it's you're not nearly as good at that as you think you are. give the ball up, make a couple of cuts, get it back. Like dude, like he should be fucking watching Yaxel Lendeborg in Michigan. Like he should be watching because this kid can play without the ball. That's the thing is like, again, go watch Klay Thompson. And if you do that, I really believe, because again, some of the best highlights we've had on here, especially with him, are he doesn't have the ball. He comes off a double pick. He gets the ball. He's already in motion. Because see, here's the thing. When he gets a pass and then he stands there and has to think about what he's going to do, he makes bad choices. Right. When he's already fucking running full speed and he's already, I'm going to the basket, he's so much better.
I agree.
The problem is that he cannot functionally get out of his own way and stop himself from stopping the offense and not helping things continue to move. And I just think that maybe a training camp of actual health will change things. You know, I don't know. Like he wasn't 100%. I understand, but it's also there's also a certain point where it's just like you've been here a year. I don't know. I am rooting for him. I want him to succeed with us. Someone needs to get into his head that you are not doing yourself favors when you stand around with the ball ever. Don't do it. Just shoot, pass, or drive when you have the ball. If you get the ball, it's the Monty Williams thing. 0.5. In half a second, you should decide whether you are shooting, passing, or driving. You do not, like, I would rather he catch the ball and instantly go into a shot than dribble around and this whole Allen Iverson 90s basketball shit. Like, it just doesn't, we're not an isolation team.
No. And we've been, since we've had him on our team and Brooks has been injured and Williams has been injured, we basically have kind of devolved into that. It's harder to find highlights where we're kind of running the like picks and things like that now that we don't have those two players playing right now. And, so you'll see from these highlights, it's just when I'm watching them, they're just not, we aren't running those. And that's what I was saying about Mark Williams being out, is it's forced Oso to start, and he's not as good as running those kind of pick plays and stuff against starters. So it kind of shifts the whole team into a different kind of play style. And that's why I just really think we need those back.
And Williams is huge and an absolute monster screen setter.
Yeah.
And an incredible rebounder. And we are missing those things badly. We miss Williams on the glass so much. We miss him on the glass almost as much as we miss Brooks on defense. Like, Mark Williams can't make us a good rebounding team because we are a horrible rebounding team. But my God, without him, we suck.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just, no, I agree with you. Like, I'm wholeheartedly in your corner. You are not wrong at all. It's just one of those things. Let's look at the Nuggets game.
Yeah.
Let's see, let's talk about it.
Wasn't a terrible game, It was frustrating in like the second and third quarter, but and obviously the end. But.
Yeah. And I mean, this is still good stuff. Like, again, there's still some of it, but like you said, it makes sense that it's harder to find. This is one of those ones though, where, again, we've got the high pick. And what I love about this one, actually, we'll see where it is right here. When you have, we talk so much about what Iguodala provides in terms of spacing and positioning, and there's also like the mind meld. Like, when we used to talk about like Brady and Edelman.
Yes.
And like they just know, like Edelman knows exactly where Tom wants him to sit down in the zone. And he just goes there, and then he just stops, and Tom gets him the ball. And they just know, because they would look at the defense and see the exact same thing. And it was easy for them. They would just, I'll go here. And it would just be simple for them to run the same route over and over and over a million times because, they're going to run, they're having an underfront. They're going to, they're running, whatever, nickel zone, blah, 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 blah. And I get a lot of that with Iguodala because on this play, he's everywhere. Like his connection to what his teammates are seeing. Like I know I've said it a billion times, but he just like the complete thorough domination of Iguodala in every single part of this play. He doesn't set the screen, then gets the ball, then sets a screen while with the ball, whips the ball to the corner, sets another screen, and then cuts to the basket. Like he's all over the place. He's interacting with 3 other dudes in the play. Set a screen for you, whip you the ball, set a screen for you, cut. Like it's his complete and total understanding of what everyone else is doing. Again, I've said it a million times. It reminds me of Draymond Green. I'm not saying he is as good as Draymond Green, but I'm saying that he is a poor man's Draymond Green. And if he can figure out the rim protection piece of that, he's going to be an incredible player in this league.
And the free throws.
Yeah, also true.
They are starting to hack. Iguodala is now a strategy, as seen in this game. You know, they literally started doing. He eventually started hitting his free throws, so they kind of let up on that. And then we wouldn't give him the ball
right
at the end of the
hack and Oso.
Yeah,
that's it's so funny that like became a thing from the Hack-a-Shack days. Like,
yeah,
hack and Oso.
That wasn't a moving screen. I don't think.
Yeah, like that's just this is. Just,
he was just surprised that
we don't even need to break this down. This is just fucking funny. Like this is just.
He's right not moving, is he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, he just flops.
Yeah,
it's like he's like I swear to God, I didn't even do anything. The refs agree. Here's my favorite part right here. Jokic can't be fucking bothered. Does not matter. I'm chilling. I'm thinking about harness racing. He literally just lets Rose O'Neal walk back out to the corner, does not do a goddamn thing, and then retreats. Mm-hmm. When he retreats, I know he's going back into rebounding position, but when O'Neal shoots the ball and Jokic takes 2 steps back, like he just defended him, mm-hmm. and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get back to rebound now." Like now because he could just turn around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's just the fact that he's like retreating, like, "All right, I'm done defending." Like that fucking kills me. I'm sorry. That's so fucking funny. Like that's the funniest goddamn thing. This flop is just truly tremendous though. Oh, Royce is like, all right, whatever. Like that's so funny. Jokic's like, rebound. You know, like he was closing out hard on that one. Like,
oh my god,
that's
funny.
That's so fucking funny. That I love that you clipped that one. And this is stuff we weren't seeing Royce O'Neal do historically. This is just, I mean, number one, in every other year, Royce O'Neal shoots this ball. I mean, we do have a guy wide open in the corner here, so you could whip that one down there. Excuse me. But historically, Royce always shoots this ball. And this year, he has become a much better ball handler, a much better creator, a much better passer, I feel, at least in his time here. And this one, you know, you do the nice little pump fake. Now you got your man off. This kind of play almost doesn't even exist in the NBA anymore. You know, it's like, oh, you're pump faking and driving to the basket. No one does that. They all shoot the 3.
Yeah.
And this is just, I mean, this is a one hand. He doesn't like change his motion. He literally, while being triple teamed, by the way, like Jokic is closing in. What do we got? Man with the hand up.
Mm-hmm.
Heads up play. He says to Royce, "Hey, I'm here."
No one's even looking at him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm here. Give me the ball." Royce sees that shit. And this is like, this is like a one-handed, he like literally like this thing into a perfect alley-oop. Like, this is incredible.
He's a good passer.
Dude, he has been an awesome passer, but this is the best year of his career as a passer, in my opinion. Like, I didn't watch Royce O'Neal in college. I don't remember it, but I legitimately watching this dude historically, like this year, his playmaking chops are at a level I haven't seen before. I do like the Royce O'Neal of last year, who was a nice player, who was shooting well, was not doing some of this shit. Like, he just like Jordan Ott has encouraged him to be like, man, open up the bag, like get in it. Like he could, like I feel like Jordan Knott was like, you're way better than this. Do more.
Mhm.
We want you to pass. We want you to play some point. And he's doing it. And it's been successful. And he's throwing some slick passes. Like Royce O'Neal making decisions in transition is always good news. He is a very good player. I really like him. And everything I said about him potentially being traded, I'm very glad we didn't do that. I'm very glad that because he's continued. I mean, I think he's age 33 and he's still getting better. Like, that's what you're looking for.
Great 3-point percentage in the fourth quarter.
Yep, clutch shooter.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck just happened there, but whatever. The hilarious Royce play again.
Universe wanted us to see that.
Beautiful pass by Royce again. It's the Royce O'Neal show.
Yeah.
Starring Royce O'Neal. And that is just why you have Malawach. This is the thing right here. Because, you know, his defense is obviously suspect. He's a little bit out of position here. That's why he's so far behind. But right here, he's gotten clearly beat. He is a full step behind this dude. I mean, Grayson Allen's in front of him and can't stop it. I think that's is that Christian Brown?
Mm-hmm.
And Malawach is loading up, and you can tell he's like, this shot's fucking, this is mine. And that's like a Bismack Biyombo breaking out the eraser block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it is, dude.
Like he smacked the shit out of that ball. And you know, you can just tell when he's loading up, like you can see it right here. He's like, all right, like that. You can tell right here that ball's fucking blocked. Like he's just so long. His arms. Him and Williams are insanely long. Again, they're not. No one's Wemby, but I love what we've done with Malawach. I love that we got him and immediately fucking sent him to the G League and said, you're going to play 35 minutes a game there. Shoot the ball from wherever you want. Take every shot. Dribble. Do whatever the hell you want, but play basketball. I don't think it makes sense to sit these project kids on the bench. You need them to play. And we're trying to win games this year. And now that we're down the stretch, he's a useful player to us because he played 35 minutes a game in the G League and occasionally came up here and played 5 minutes with the big dudes and then would go down and play 35 minutes and use some of what he learned and then come back up and play 5 minutes and go, you know, and like the G League is now at this point a very, very, very real, legitimate developmental tool that is making players better. And I love what we have done with Malawach. And I 100% believe if we don't send him down there, he's not available to us as a useful player right now. And he is becoming a useful defender. He still has nothing on offense other than dunking the ball, which is fine. I don't need him to do anything else. All right, let's see. I do like Jalen Green setting the screen. What I like about this is that Jalen is strong, so he can set a legitimate screen here, even though this is not.
It's the last minute of the game.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a legitimate screen. This is a nice play by Jalen. And again, in the last minute of the game, so fair enough. You're very right about that. And he did ball out against the Jazz. You know,
It's the consistency.
It's the consistency, and it's just that there are just certain moments. And again, like I want this thing to see. I want him. I would love it if he would shove it in my fucking face. I want nothing more than that. There's got to be someone who can say to him, you can be one of the 10 best players in this league or whatever. If you just, I mean, dude, it's almost like you got to play by vibes and stop thinking so much.
Yeah.
I feel like he's in his head.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's all the time trying to,
go.
I'm just like, go. Just you're faster than them.
That's true.
You're stronger than them. You can jump higher than them. Just go.
Don't give him a chance to think.
And I just think that there's a confidence issue. I don't know what it just.
He could be afraid of hurting himself again, you know?
Yeah, there could be some of that. And you know what? Like, maybe there will come a moment in these playoffs where it feels like it's slipping away for him a little bit and he realizes now is the time and he takes it to a new level. Guys do that.
Yeah.
You know, and let's just hope that that's the one. But I love this because I love him. He doesn't really set the screen, but he still shows like he's going to set the screen and slips. And then again, right here, what does he do? He doesn't think. He doesn't dribble. He doesn't massage. He attacks immediately. And that's the fucking point to
Attacks
me.
Jokic.
Exactly. No fear. And that's how he should play all the time. And I'm not saying that he should drive to the rim every single play, but he should never stand around massaging the ball, trying to figure it out and let the defense get into a position to stop him. attack them immediately. They are not fast enough or fleet of foot enough to stay in front of you. And I just wish that he had enough confidence in himself to realize he can get to the rim any goddamn time he wants. I'm not saying I want him driving into 4 people. Those are the times I want him either looking for the pass or looking to pull up. But right there, like you said, you see Jokic, it's like, hey, I can get by this guy. Go right at him, I love it. I love that attitude. And then here again, classic, just doing book stuff, hitting clutch shot after clutch shot.
Unfortunately, we didn't win.
And of course we lose. And
it was a huge shot.
Yet again, Booker doing Booker things. Yeah, I mean, my biggest takeaway from that game, I agree with you. I was happier with what Jalen did at the end there. And you're like not wrong. Like, I mean, it's like we're playing the Spurs to a draw. We're playing the Nuggets to a draw. Like, we're playing all these teams right to the fucking brink. So, there has to be something there. There has to be something that we can say, all right, there's stuff to be gleaned from. Like, we've had so many last-second losses.
Right.
We're not playing like garbage.
No.
We're playing great teams, and we're taking them down to the wire, and things are just not going our way, and we're horribly injured. Like, that says something.
It does. It says, when we get Dylan Brooks back or Williams or both of them, maybe we're not even in a position where we have to fight for the last bucket at the end of a game. Maybe we're up 6 at the end of the game because of the way the rest of the game is played out. That's my hope. The playoffs, though, are always going to be close games, usually, unless, it's like, anyways, you have those playoff runs. It's like a blowout on this game and then the blowout the next game by the other team, but
imagine that we beat the Spurs in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Like, and Jalen Green averages an efficient 23 a game. And, he shoots like an actual decent percentage. And, then this season would unequivocally be a success.
Yeah.
Like, there would be no other way to view this. You would have no choice but to look at this and be like, this is awesome. Like, I would feel that we have so many building blocks at that point.
Me too.
So I still have hope. Even if we lost in a game 7 and we just took them to a game 7 and showed that we were there, like,
dude,
if we get swept in the first round, I'm not gonna feel good about that. Like, though
I don't want to get swept.
That's the thing, is that even though we've had a better season than we anticipated, if this ends up in like a first round sweep sort of thing, that's not gonna make me feel like we made progress. That's gonna make me feel like we slightly overachieved.
Well, what if we don't have Brooks and Williams? You would still feel that way, or if we're down 2 starters?
I mean, it would really depend. If we got blown out every game, I wouldn't feel it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, that would piss me off.
Like, if we lost in 6, if we lost in 6 games and all 6 games were competitive, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know that if we won a playoff series, I would feel that this season was not just like successful, but radically successful. And that proved that what we're doing is working. Because winning a playoff series is the true determination that what you're doing matters.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just the first round, making it to the second round of the NBA playoffs shows that you are a legitimate, real basketball team that, anyone can have a good season and win a bunch of regular season games against bad teams and all these things. When you then go on and beat someone and show you have something, we remember the 48-win We Believe Warriors. They're not a championship team, but we remember them because they knocked off the number 1 seed Mavericks. That's a team we still talk about. And that came from winning 1 playoff series. The next round, I think the Jazz took them out 4-1. They really didn't. The Jazz just beat them up. There was nothing much they could do about it. And nobody talks about that. They only talk about the upset. Yeah. There is something worth. Like, I know we're all in rings culture and championship or bust. It's really not that way. there is more to play for. So let's look at these Jazz highlights before we get out of here.
Let's do it.
An actual fun game that we won for once. Now, see here, this is some Michigan basketball shit right here, passing the ball around. What you love about this one, my favorite thing about this is exactly what I'm saying about Jalen Green. I don't like the massaging the ball here, but he's waiting for the screen. Fine. But what happens ultimately? Circle. He passes the ball, it comes back to him, and he gets the shot. What a novel concept. You don't have to do everything. One pass. I know I drew the circle the wrong way, but the point is it came all the way back around. He starts here. He stays here. He ends up with a wide open three because he passed the ball all the way back around the perimeter right to him. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. It's like, obviously that's not going to happen every single time, but if he makes that decision 4 times a game, instead of hoisting up 4 ill-advised jumpers, we start to be much better.
Yeah. You know, and we're playing against the Jazz, who aren't the greatest team. Probably don't have the best defense.
Yeah. So
still.
Make the extra passes.
Yeah.
It's really going to result in a lot when you play a team like Utah. That's a very good point. And boom, money. I also like the arc I see on this shot. I do that, you know, that is looking really good. His shot is looking good. You like to see that. Grayson Allen taking on a lot more point guard duties this year. We like that. Rasheer Fleming, our new favorite.
Yeah.
Every Suns fan's new favorite player.
Yeah. What a huge pickup.
Dude. Like, that has been unbelievable. Like, yeah, Rasheer is he's a big part of the future of this team. Like, I think Rasheer Fleming is going to be awesome.
Me too.
Again, look at the athleticism. Like, he takes off and gets by there. I mean, that's the one thing that he has that a lot of other people just don't. Beautiful. Boom! Dude, you know he's going to break the glass at some point. Yeah. I mean, he looks like a wide receiver here. The way he's got his arm up, he's like, I'm open for the touchdown. I'm in the end zone. But this one, I love that instead of like forcing the shot up and like trying to draw some foul or some shit, he stops and then absolutely fucking hammers it. Like, I love, like, when we drafted this dude, I said to you, I was like, I like this pick. I was like, I don't know this guy, but everything I've read about him, this is the kind of guy we need. And I think that it's starting to bear itself out. It's not that Carter Bryant, shout out Carter Bryant, U of A alum, hasn't been good for the Spurs. He's had some real moments. But Maluach, you know, again, you can't teach size. He's so fucking huge. You cannot teach that shit. And when you're playing Jokic in the playoffs, when you're playing Chet Holmgren in the playoffs, when you're playing Victor fucking Wembanyama in the playoffs, you need all of the goddamn size that you can get. And I do, you know, the Suns were criticized pretty heavily for giving up 2 first-round picks for Mark Williams and then drafting Kamal Maluach. And I got to be honest with you, it's looking like a pretty smart decision on both fronts right now. I know that Williams has been hurt, and that's been the knock against him. You know, the picks that we gave up were, you know, despite we didn't have premium picks to give up at that point. They're back-end picks. Like, it is what it is. I mean, here again, number one, this is why Devin Booker is, like, as I've said many times, one of the most underrated passers in the NBA. The way that when you get here, you can see right here that the Jazz have walled this thing off. So you know right now that you're either going to pull up for a jumper, you're not going to be able to get to the rack. He's learning to play with Maluach, and I mean, it's just a beautiful pass. Like, you just don't. Devin is just underrated as a passer. He just is, and this is just gorgeous. And again, boom, the guy, his arms are so long. I wonder what his standing reach is at the, you know, compared to other dudes in the league. Absolute beautiful pass. And again, like, look at Gillespie. Like, here's the thing about Gillespie on this one. Like, right here, you know, Gillespie makes a cut. And you would think that making that cut, he's going to try to shoot. He's not even thinking about it. He's thinking like a point guard because he sees Ryan Dunn is wide the fuck open in the corner. And so he's thinking 3 steps ahead. He never even considers shooting this ball. He's already in his mind, he's already fucking past it when he gets it. He cuts right there. Iguodala sees him. He knows that Iguodala is going to throw this ball right here because Iguodala is a madman and loves to throw a pass between defenders. And again, I mean, you can see him seeing Dunn here in the corner. He's not even fucking thinking about laying this ball up. This whole time, he knows I'm passing that ball. And right here, he's got it. He never even looks near the basket. He steps aside, whips it to Dunn in the corner. Make the extra pass.
Yeah.
You know, I know that we get foolish sometimes and people take 8 passes and no one shoots and it's a little ridiculous. But literally.
Yeah, you know, I do like the idea of him, you know, putting that in if he can, you know, but or at least thinking about it. But that you know, then he's not able to get the pass off right away.
You will find that offenses, I believe historically, that have 3 to 4 passes regularly, like are the best offenses. Like just making that one extra pass per possession really changes everything. So
Absolutely.
and I agree with you. It's like if you got the dunk, you got the dunk.
If you're right under the basket and you're open.
But he sees 2 guys crashing on him and he just whips it out. He's incredible.
Yes.
Any last thoughts?
You know, you're talking about the 8th seed. Like you're saying, it's going to be tough. You know, we're not healthy right now. We very well might draw to the 8th seed, which would be okay, you know, if we still win that first game in the play-in. But fingers crossed, we get it done and we stay in the 7th spot.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing for us is we get to the playoffs and figure things out from there. And if we have to go through the play-in, we have to go through the play-in. You know, Miami has made it to the finals from some very fucking precarious positions before. So we know that anything is possible. And again, it's just like you said, let's, you know, keep our mindset on, you know, winning as many of the games as they can down the stretch. Try to keep the 7th seed if you can, you know, and just focus on win that first playing game. And then if you're in the 7th seed, you know, you just, again, start preparing for, you know, defending Victor Wembanyama as many ways as you can. Malawach, Williams, whatever you want to do. Dude, I would be okay if they were like, we're going to start Malawach and we're just going to say, all right, dude, just tackle this motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Just like get out there and just put your arms in his jersey, call him a motherfucker.
Foul out. Yeah.
Say that you know his girlfriend from back home. Like, just like,
Leave
go,
Brittany alone.
like do Dennis Rodman shit.
Yeah.
Just get in his jersey and make his life a living hell. Just every minute you're on the court. Like, your job is to ruin Victor Wembanyama's day, whatever that takes. You know, call him a Shaolin monk ass, whatever, just whatever it takes, whatever things you can come up with. Like, I'm here to smack you because of Britney Spears. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just whatever I would just.
The Eiffel Tower's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, the French Revolution is easily the most overrated revolution. Like, yeah, that probably the way to piss off Victor Wembanyama would be like start talking trash about local French politics.
Yeah.
He'll get like really angry about that. But yeah, man, it's, you know, let's get the 7th seed.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Let's stay healthy.
Let's stay healthy.
And get healthy.
Let's get healthy and stay healthy. That is Sunday Night Suns. Thank you, Keith, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We'll do it again next week.
Let's do it.